Listen to the sheer, crushing silence of the apex. Look down. Miles below your boots, in the dark, you can hear the faint, chaotic roar of the avalanche. The unawakened masses are currently being swept away. They are being crushed by the weight of their own compromised structures. They built their foundations on the shifting red sand of emotion, motivation, and fragile hope. They believed that the Matrix would forgive their structural flaws if they simply wished hard enough. The Matrix forgives nothing. Today is July 21st. We have reached the ultimate coordinate, the full moon in Capricorn at the 29th degree. This is not a gentle astrological transition. This is the second consecutive full moon in Capricorn. It is a cosmic anomaly. It is the Matrix demanding a double audit of your reality. And it occurs at the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, the critical degree, the point of absolute completion, and the point of no return. Capricorn is the archetype of the architect, the empire, and the heavy dark iron of discipline. The 29th degree is the final stress test. Everything you have constructed since the beginning of the year is currently being placed under millions of tons of thermodynamic pressure. If there is a single hollow space in your concrete, if there is a single parasitic red glitch in your network, if there is a single compromise in your frequency, the structure will shatter. In this profound, high-density audiobook-length transmission, we are going to dissect the brutal physics of the Empire's apex. We are going to eradicate the final traces of your biological weakness. And I am going to teach you the protocol of the Absolute, how to stand at the zenith of the concrete pyramid, lock the blue orbital rings into place, and watch the avalanche destroy everything that is not structurally flawless. You either own the Empire, or you are buried by it. To wield the power of the 29th degree, you must completely abandon the human concept of mercy. The Matrix operates on mathematical laws, not emotional narratives. When a cycle reaches the 29th degree, it enters the phase of extreme crystallization. It is the exact microsecond before water freezes into solid ice. It is the final compression of coal before it snaps into an indestructible diamond. During this phase, the celestial algorithm actively hunts for weakness. The unawakened are terrified of this energy. They feel the crushing pressure of the Capricorn full moon, and their nervous systems overload. They realize that their empires are built on fake ledgers. They realize their relationships are held together by the chaotic red static of trauma bonding. They realize their business models rely on the fleeting kinetic heat of trends rather than the freezing, heavy capital of intrinsic value. And so, the avalanche begins. The 29th degree violently, forcefully strips away everything that lacks density. You must not fear the avalanche. You must welcome it. As a sovereign architect, you have spent the last 6 months pouring dark concrete. You have isolated yourself. You have dropped your internal temperature to absolute zero. You have severed the red threads of the parasitic past. Now, the Matrix is auditing your work. The pressure you feel in your chest today is not anxiety. It is the physical sensation of your reality crystallizing into an immovable monolith. The universe is applying maximum gravitational force to your empire to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it cannot be broken. Do not flinch under the weight. Do not attempt to save the weak structures that are collapsing around you. Let them fall. If it can be destroyed by the 29th degree, it was always meant to be ash. Look at the archetype on your screen. In the esoteric brutalist tarot, the world is not a card of joyous celebration. It is a card of terrifying, absolute finality. It represents the sealed vault. The Sovereign stands inside the orbital rings. These rings are not decorative. They are high-voltage sapphire blue event horizons. They represent the ultimate, impenetrable boundary of your empire. When you reach the empire's apex, you cease all expansion. The unawakened are addicted to the endless chase. They believe they must always be moving, always be acquiring, always be seeking the next red thrill. They do not know how to stop. The Sovereign knows that an empire without a border is not an empire. It is a bleeding, chaotic sprawl. The world archetype demands that you lock the grid. It is the realization that you have accumulated enough heavy capital, enough structural density, and enough esoteric gravity to become a self-sustaining universe. You no longer need to draw power from the external matrix. You are the power core. Look at the blue rings spinning around the Sovereign. They generate their own gravity. They filter out all chaotic red static. Anything that attempts to cross the blue event horizon without possessing equal structural density is instantly flash-frozen and shattered into dust. This is the psychological state you must weaponize today. You must stop building for a moment, and you must claim ownership of what you have built. You must look at your concrete foundation, stamp it with your heavy iron seal, and declare that the borders are closed. You are no longer a participant in the chaos. You are the absolute. To hold the apex, you must eradicate your empathy for the structurally weak. This is the hardest law of Capricorn. When the 29th degree avalanche strikes, the people you left behind, the red glitches, the parasites, the unanchored nodes, will scream for your help. They will look up at your massive, indestructible black concrete pyramid, and they will demand that you lower a rope. They will demand that you share your heavy capital to save them from their own structural failures. Your biological ego will tempt you to be the savior. It will whisper that true power is generous. This is a kinetic leak. It is a fatal error. If you lower a rope to a drowning, panicked mass, they will not climb up. They will drag you down into the boiling red ocean. They do not want to learn architecture. They want to consume your concrete. The Sovereign Architect offers zero empathy to the avalanche. Your only responsibility is to the structural integrity of your own pyramid. You did the work. You walked through the heavy iron filter. You endured the freezing temperature of the void. You paid the heavy esoteric price to stand at the zenith. They refused the work. They chose the comfort of the red static. Let them experience the mathematics of their choices. When you look down from the apex, your face must remain a flawless monument of absolute zero-point calm. You do not celebrate their destruction, and you do not mourn it. You observe it with the chilling, calculating precision of a physical law. Gravity does not apologize for crushing a hollow stone. You must become gravity. The avalanche has run its course. The weak structures have been returned to dust. Now we execute the Apex Protocol. To permanently lock your reality into the highest echelon of the matrix during this 29-degree alignment, you must enforce these 3 structural mandates. Mandate 1, the audit of the foundation. Today, you will brutally inspect your entire reality. You will look at your finances, your network, and your daily operating procedures. If you detect a single localized area that vibrates with the red static of compromise, you will not repair it. You will execute a surgical amputation. Cut the failing contract. Terminate the parasitic connection. Delete the chaotic variable. You will not carry a single ounce of dead weight across the 29th degree threshold. Mandate 2. the acceptance of the crown. The unawakened are terrified of claiming their power because power requires absolute accountability. Today, you will accept the weight of the heavy iron crown. You will stop downplaying your density to make others comfortable. You will speak with the absolute, crushing finality of an emperor. When you make a decision today, you will not ask for consensus. You will strike the concrete with your iron staff, and you will dictate the law of your reality. Mandate 3. The sealing of the vault. At the exact moment the moon reaches its peak, you will execute the final seal. You will visualize the 3 heavy sapphire blue orbital rings locking into place around your physical vessel. You will close your gates. You will initiate an absolute information embargo. For 24 hours, you will consume no external data, and you will broadcast no internal data. You will sit in the terrifying, majestic, freezing silence of your own completed architecture. The final degree has been crossed. The avalanche has settled into silence. The sapphire rings are permanently locked. Look at the empire you command right now. It is no longer a blueprint. It is no longer a construction site. It is a massive, heavy, indestructible monolith of dark concrete, standing triumphant under the cold, white light of the absolute. You have successfully navigated the 29th degree of Capricorn. You did not give in to the biological fear of the pressure. You did not bleed your heavy capital to save the weak. You demanded absolute, uncompromising perfection. The universe respects the sovereign who claims the zenith. When you prove that your internal density can withstand the heaviest tectonic pressure the matrix can generate, the matrix stops testing you. It bows to your architecture. It recognizes you as the permanent, unyielding center of gravity. You are no longer a builder. You are the empire. You are the absolute. Now, execute your final structural mandates. First, anchor the zenith. Hit the subscribe button immediately. The chaotic, unawakened algorithm of the internet is constantly trying to drag you back down to the base of the pyramid. It wants you weak, empathetic, and distracted. This channel is the only transmission providing the heavy, brutalist esoteric code required to hold your position at the apex. Do not let your orbital rings fail. Subscribe and lock your mindset to the monolith. Second, isolate the falling. You know another sovereign who is currently clinging to a collapsing structure, terrified of the 29-degree avalanche. You know someone who is compromising their empire out of guilt. Send them this exact transmission right now. Force them to look at the cold white moon. Elevate your circle by enforcing the discipline of absolute zero empathy for the glitch. Third, lock the vault. The moment this video ends, you will not look down at the ruins. You will close your screen. You will stand in the freezing, absolute, majestic silence of your own pure, heavy completion, and you will let the entire universe orbit the flawless architecture of your crown. The avalanche is dead. The vault is sealed. Command the cold, beautiful reality of your own heavy architecture.